This is Discipline 2, Shot 1. The setup's mandated in the program, so I'm not going to take any time to go over that. The execution, though, is a little tricky if you're not used to it. It's a push shot, which means that the Q-tip has to stay in contact with the cue ball much longer than it would for a regular pool shot. And how we do that, well, first let's find our line of aim. And for me, I like to take this rail that I'm standing over as a reference, and I'll go at 1 1/4 diamond. So I'll stick my cue butt over 1 1/4 diamond, and my Q-tip will be right at the center of the cue ball. From there, this can be a reach for some people, so it's just something you have to work with and hopefully get comfortable with. But your shot accuracy is not as important, so it shouldn't hinder your ability to make this shot too much. And then from there, you're just going to put maximum right hand English, and I like to use a little bit of top in order to help keep the cue ball against the rail. So by putting right hand English and pushing through the cue ball is going to squirt to the left. And because I have this little angle here, it'll also move the one ball, which is a requirement for the shot. So let me just try to talk you through this as I do it. Again, 1 1/4 diamond from the short rail here. My cue butt's over that. My cue stick's pointing right at the cue ball, right at the center of the cue ball. I'll lean over, get my maximum right hand English, a little bit of top to help keep the cue ball against the rail. And I'll put my Q-tip right up against the cue ball. And there's no backswing whatsoever. You just kind of shove your cue stick through the cue ball and you make the shot. Again, it's a little tricky if you're not used to doing that kind of thing. I know most people, their basic instinct is to pull the cue stick back, but you can't really do that on this shot and have too much success. You really need to sandwich the cue ball between the rail and your cue stick during the shot. If you're having problems as far as hugging the rail, I would say put more top on it. If otherwise, you can change your aim line. And so just again, use a reference point on this rail. Maybe you have to come down to a whole diamond, or you could go as shallow as 1 1/2 diamonds, or even shallower. Depending on how much your right hand English you could put on it, and how much exactly your cue stick's squeezing the cue ball out. Other than that, this shot, being the first shot in the discipline, isn't really that difficult, so you should have very good success with this shot.